Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Hoping that everything is working because I forgot to test it. Hopefully you can all hear me. Hopefully you can all see me. As usual, if you are there, please do pop a hello in the comments so that I know I'm not talking to myself and so that everything is working properly. Checking I've clicked all the buttons. Good morning, Jay. Hopefully you can hear me because the setup's all been moved and replugged in. And good morning, Vanessa. Good morning, Sarah. On this very cold morning in the south of England. Good morning, Jackie. Good morning, Lisa. Very chilly. We had snow yesterday. It was very exciting. Not really, but we don't often see snow. Thank you, everyone. Thank you. I'm glad you can see and hear me. That's a bonus. Good morning, Petronella. Good morning, Ravengast. Good morning, Alex. Good morning, Willow Moon. Good morning, Andrea. Good morning, Karen. Good morning, Rachel. Good morning, Mendy. Good morning, Sibbins. Good morning, Kay. Willow Moon, who switched off the warm weather? Yes. It was a bit of a shock to the system yesterday. See, the Kalak's fighting back. She doesn't want to let go just yet. Sarah, 5 minutes of snow. That's all we got to. Good morning, Jane. Nice to see you reconnecting with your witchy world. Yes, which is what today's all about. Petronella, snow here on the ground as well. Wow. No, we just had a bit of wet, sleety stuff yesterday, and that was it. Good morning, Christine. April Fool's Day. Yes, do not expect sense today. Never expect anything sensible from me. Good morning, Maria. Good morning, Janet. Good morning, Barbara. Good morning, Sue. Pete's not here at the minute, Sue. He's just popped to the shop. Eric is here, but he's in the right in the far end of the kitchen on his armchair. He has his own armchair because the sun's shining, and when the sun's shining, he goes and sits there and bakes in it. Good morning, Jenny. Okay, took a video of the snow because we may never see it again. We don't get it very often. Sarah, it's April Fool and us, the weather's turning. It is the Kalak. She's fighting back. She just doesn't want to let it go. Jane had a few hailstones and a lot of wind. Yes, it's been very windy too, isn't it? Good morning, Leslie. Good, Janet, snow on the way. Yes, we are supposed to get a little bit more, but it's blue skies and sunshine out there this morning. It's just freezing cold. Good morning, Kerry. Good morning, Lizzie. Good morning, E. Good morning, Donna. Wow, lots of lovely people. Thank you so much for joining me. Welcome. I'll give it a minute for people to find us. But yes, we are in our study. Finally in our study. 6 months after the renovations began, we actually have our study up and running. None of the other rooms are quite sorted yet. We had the day off work yesterday, day off work today, to get things all unpacked from storage and all in the right places. I can't move today. My muscles are shouting at me, moving furniture and unpacking boxes. But we're in our study. It's lovely. Getting there. Be finished by the end of the day. Mendy had tornadoes yesterday. Wow. Okay, bluebells were late this year, so I think they knew the weather wasn't quite ready to pick out. Yeah, nature knows, doesn't it? Good morning, Christine. Leslie had hail and snow flutters and hailstones for like 5 minutes through the sun. It is weird weather, but it is that time of the year, isn't it, when the weather hasn't got a clue what it's doing. Maria, is it all done now? The actual renovation is all completely finished. The last of the flooring went down on Wednesday. Everything's done. It's just a case of getting all the stuff unpacked and all the rooms straight, which is chaos. But that's, I suppose, the fun part. Good morning, Barbara. 4 a.m. there. Oh, you are an absolute trooper, Barbara. You'll need coffee. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, Penny. Okay, that's the UK for you. All the seasons in one day. I don't think we're alone there. Good morning, Maharet. Sue, we had soft hail, rain, and it blew a hoolie. Yes, we had hoolies here too. Good morning, Trudy. Maria, hurrah. Yes, more of a sigh of relief, Maria. Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. Petronella with working appliances. We have a working dishwasher. How exciting is that? The third dishwasher, but yeah, there you go. Jane took a cost reading off our smart meter at midnight to see how much electricity goes up today. My electricity, they've already told us how much his electric and gas is going up. It's almost doubled, both of it. But hey ho, we're going to have to set fire to things instead, I think, to keep warm. So, good morning, everyone. If you read my blog that I put out this week, that's kind of the subject of today. And if you've followed anything to do with me, you will know. Fun and games with the Lecky, certainly. Sue, what's the sparkle on your shirt? It's a star. It's a sparkly star. From Kit and Caboodle. They do some fantastic stuff. Maria, how are you doing with your dishwasher? Can't live without mine. It's a bit of a learning curve. We're getting into a kind of routine with it. Yeah, impressed. Never having ever had one before. Yes, but I think it's about getting into routine of working with it, isn't it? But anyway, so yes, back the very last week of September last year, came back from a lovely few days away in the beautiful city of Bath with the Kitchen Witch girls to pack everything up, ready for the renovation, which started on the 6th of October. So I had to pack up everything, into all of my altars, and I had lots, all of my magical tools, all of the herbs, all of the crystals, everything got packed up into boxes and went into storage. All of my books got packed up, went into storage. It was a very strange feeling, but I was okay about it because, you know, the house was being renovated, so that was exciting. The first couple of months, I think I was probably okay with it. Bear in mind, we were coming off the back of the main part of the pandemic as well. So I hadn't been out and about. We hadn't been able to connect with people very much, or go to witchy festivals or workshops or anything. So I think by Christmas, it was starting to hit me that I had lost my connection, that I had lost all kind of magic, really. My personal inner power was gone. I felt very disconnected from everything, really. And I think as well, particularly at Christmas, and I used the word Christmas to cover the whole festive season. I'm the only pagan in my family, so I do my own celebrations and work it into the Christmas family celebrations. I love that time of the year. I love pretty much the whole of December. Once like 26th, 27th December's done, everything gets packed away. I like the build up. I love that whole energy that builds up to Christmas. In fact, I have been known to watch Christmas films and listen to Christmas music as early as October. Don't shoot me. But because I love that so much, I think that affected me as well. Because the house was still in renovation, we had nowhere to put Christmas decorations. So we didn't really celebrate Christmas at home. It didn't have that same feeling. We did go to my brother's, for which I'm very thankful for, and had a fantastic day. But I think that affected it as well because I love the season so much. So I think gradually it crept up on me that I'd lost connection. And then I think it just got worse. It got worse and worse and worse as the whole renovation process went on. And big shout out to the actual building company. They were fantastic, but everything took a bit longer because of COVID and various other things. So it was dragged out a bit. And it had an effect on my mental well-being. My husband's too, and anyone that knows Pete knows how happy and ridiculously cheerful he is all the time. So we did support each other, which was brilliant. But I did, from the spiritual point of view, really lost my connection to everything. I think as well because I couldn't get out to see the girls very much either, because we're all so busy, and with all the restrictions and no festivals and all that palaver, it was a combination of stuff, and it has really taken its toll. And then this last weekend, 2 events changed things. I'm going to look at the comments now and leave you hanging. Vanessa, the fun part is when everything's done and you can go, yeah, we're almost there. We got today to finish, so our bedroom's almost straight now. We can actually get into bed without walking past desks and stationery cupboards and stuff. So yeah, we're getting there. Sue, your bath trip seems like years ago. No, it was just last September. Beautiful place. Christine, had mine 20 years, still not a routine with it. Dishwashers are incredible. It is a Bosch. The one we ended up with, a Bosch. Yeah, that one actually worked. We had 2 Hisense that didn't, but there you go. Petronella, that must have been quite a journey of discovery, unpacking it all now. All the books are unpacked. That was fun. My husband's vinyl's all unpacked. I've got all of my witchcraft stuff will be unpacked today. I've got to go through all of my herbs and crystals and ornaments and everything and unpack it all. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure how I feel about a lot of it now. Do I need all that paraphernalia? Will I slim it down? I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Christmas films. Yeah, you and me both, Sue. I'm with you on that. Raymond Gast, we call it Yule, not Christmas. Yeah, it's Yule. It's the winter solstice. I am pagan, but I am the only pagan in my family. So I tend to call it Christmas because that's what my whole family do. It's just the festive season to me. I don't think it matters what name you call it. For me, it is that energy of the festive season. I'm not going to get too hung up on labels with it. Maria, keep disconnecting and reconnecting. However, I don't worry about it and go with the ebb and flow. Yeah, definitely. And I think all of us do. I think even the most experienced or the most, 30 years I've been on this pathway now, we do. We have periods of time where you step back a bit or you aren't so into it or life gets in the way. It does. It happens all of the time. I don't think I've ever been this disconnected for so long. But there you go. There's a second part to my story. I won't leave you hanging too long. Good morning, Emma. Good morning, Beverly. Sue, Christmas, Xmas, Yule. Yeah, whatever floats your boat. Definitely. Good morning, Charlie. Sue, I've lost connection with everything, everyone, even myself. Sue, that's exactly where I am pretty much, or have been for the last few months. Yeah, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. There's help. There is a way out. There is absolutely a way out. Hang in there. Good morning, Jackie. Kerry, trying to reconnect at the moment. Not for the first time. No, it happens to us all. It really does. Kath, I've lost my connection at the moment because my health is not great. That has an effect too, doesn't it? Find it hard to feel magical when I feel so run down. For me, that was part of it. I've mentioned it before, but I have a bowel disease. I have ulcerative colitis and proctitis, and it can be quite debilitating when it flares up. And I had been in remission for years, several years, but the stress of all the house being upside down and everything happening, again, not anyone's fault. That's just me taking it all on board. Brought on the colitis again, and I've struggled with the health of that as well. It has a really strong effect. Barbara, COVID has done this to me too. Never been so depressed or alienated in my life. It has affected my whole being. I think there's a huge amount of people feeling that, and I will get onto that in a second because there was a connection there. There is a connection to my story there. Mendy, I think everyone kind of disconnected. It was a hard time. I know here lately the Norse gods have been smacking me at every turn. Don't even usually call them to ritual. I'm going to look into it. Listen to them. If you're being called, listen to it. Christine, I tried the clearing out some of the things I had, but it always ends up coming back out again. Yeah, otherwise I pine for them in my view. Even my little pixies come back out as I feel more connected with them all. Yeah, I think that's it, isn't it? When I'm going through my stuff, I am going to be careful not to throw stuff out just because I haven't used it for a while, because I haven't been able to use it for a while. Jenny, I think people losing connection is so common at the moment. 2 years into a pandemic, and it's been a very difficult 2 years. It's not that surprising at all. Absolutely. Jane, Ronald Hutton wrote about so many things that are celebrated over Yule and New Year in his Stations of the Sun book. There is something for everyone. Took me longer than the festive season to read it. Yes, I'm a great fan of folklore and local traditions to your area. There are so many festivities going on in that period. Definitely. Happy new moon. It is a good day to start on new projects and unpackaging things. Yes, it's interesting, isn't it? It's accidentally fallen that I'm going to be unpacking all of my witchcraft stuff today. Willow moon. I call it Christmas because that was, family tradition. My family's not Christian either, but we've always had huge Christmas celebrations. Should always remember our past. I do Yule as well, as I'm greedy. Oh, yeah. And then if you celebrate the winter solstice and Christmas, you get to open presents twice. Trudy, I can also resonate with the disconnection, but that's what life does. It does. I think it's with us all the time. But as I'm the only pagan too, we get swept up with other experiences in our lives and sometimes forget about us. I think as well, if you are a busy working mum, dad, adult, whatever, life does. It gets in the way. Leslie, I've lost connection with everything, feel a bit empty. Yep, me, I'm there with you, Leslie. Important to remember that you're not alone, and I will get onto some stuff that hopefully will help. Okay, I didn't struggle with isolation until I couldn't be with my kids and grandkids. Yeah, family is my Christmas. Yes. Last Christmas we went to brothers. Christmas before, of course, we were on lockdown, so we couldn't do Christmas with family for like the first time ever. It was very bizarre. Good morning, Kelly. Penny, I know how you feel. I'm also the only pagan in my family. Lost my connection when my mother passed away 5 years ago, and I've been struggling ever since. Bless you. I'm better than I have been, but don't feel fully connected or fully myself spiritually, so I do understand how you feel. Hopefully I have some things that will help you. Good morning, Tony. Good morning, John. Kelly, I find I struggle to connect when my health deteriorates. It has a big effect. Always feel a bit of a fraud calling myself a witch when I'm unable to actively practice. Don't be. No, you're not a fraud at all. It's in here. Your faith, your belief, your practice is always, always in here. You don't have to be casting spells, lighting candles, dancing around a maypole, whatever it is you want to do every day, even every week, even every month. It's in here. That's the important part. Maria, a couple of people have just began being interested in paganism, especially one who's finding it overwhelming with all the paraphernalia that goes with it. So I advised him not to worry. It's a way of being rather than, having all the tools and endless. The book I wrote, Witchcraft into the Wilds, is all about practicing witchcraft without any magical tools, not even with crystals. It is about practicing magic with twigs and leaves and stones. It is absolutely a pathway. But I think when you lose your connection, you lose that as well. I lost access to our garden as well for several months, and that had a big effect on me as well, because that's my sanctuary. Jane, so much of my connection is down to just being with other like-minded people. Got a tarot lesson this morning with lovely Alex at home, and I'm getting all gleeful about it. Yes, and I think that's why what happened on Saturday, I will share with you in a second, was very important. Sue, reading these comments makes me realise, no, you're not the only one, Sue, you really aren't. Everyone I know has picked up where they left off. They moved on, and I'm still stuck here miserable. I even feel I've lost my friends. You are not alone, my love. You really, really, you aren't. Hopefully, when I get onto it in a minute, we'll have some things to help, but you really aren't alone. Tony found the first year of pandemic awful, being stuck in the house. I think it was such a strange thing. We all struggled with it. Okay, I know my IBS, maybe it's colitis too. My lovely, you would know if it was colitis. You really would. It is disease. It is very, very different to IBS. I'm on steroids at the moment, which is not pleasant, but that's the only way to deal with it. Think things aren't affecting you until your body reacts, and then you notice what's happening. Absolutely. Beverly, we all must stay positive. Yes, but easy to say, not so easy to do. Jane, when I tell my friend Anne we're in the dark of the moon, she gets all scared. Yeah, it's lack of knowledge, isn't it? Lack of knowledge. Sue has divictul. I can never say that word. No fun. No, it doesn't help. It doesn't help. Right, let's have a look at. I'm sorry, there will be a brief interval while my coffee's delivered. Da, 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 da. Thank you. Thank you. And thank you, Roberto's, for making lovely coffee. Thank you. Let's have a look at some of the things that have made me do a bit of a turnaround. My husband, yes, who's just yeah, oh God, we wouldn't have got through it all without each other, would we? It's teamwork, definitely. Saturday was fantastic. I was very honoured to be part of the Wild Witchcraft Conference, and it was an amazing day. The energy as people came in, because it was, for most of them, the first festival, event, workshop, anything like that they'd been to since before the lockdown. So 2 years, basically. It's actually the first event I'd actually stood on a stage with a microphone and given a talk since before the pandemic. So 2 years. I was terrified. But the energy, because people were actually out and about and mixing with like-minded folk, the energy was up to the roof. I think everyone was just relieved to be out at one of these types of events again. But the very lovely Dan the Bard was giving a talk. My printer doing funny things. And I have to say a big thank you to Dan the Bard, because whilst I was doing my talk, he played the absolute stooge for my talk. He was very, very brilliant at it. But his talk began with him describing how he felt at the beginning of the pandemic. And it was literally as if he'd gotten inside my head and described exactly how I felt. The terror, the worry, the panic, because it was something we just never experienced before. And I got myself into complete panic at the beginning of it. But he then went on to describe about pulling back. We'd lost our power. We'd given it over. And he then went on to talk about pulling it back. And the first thing he did was took the dog for a walk into the woods and reconnected with nature, which is a very, very straightforward thing. And I think it's easy for us to forget that as witches, as pagans, we do have a unique skill set that we can draw upon to bring these things back. But we forget. And I did totally guilty myself. But a big thank you to Dan the Bard for prompting me, really. If you have a look at his blog, he's writing a series of blogs on them. He's called it The Green Grimoire, and he started a series of blogs on them. And the actual thought and the process behind it is brilliant. But that gave me a kind of kick in the right direction. What are you eating? You found a salted caramel Twix, didn't you? I can hear someone munching sweeties. The second thing is Sunday, we were very lucky to be gifted tickets to see
Dun, dun, dun.
Thank you for the musical interlude. Jeff Wayne's War of the Worlds on stage live in Brighton. fantastic seats. And it was amazing. I can't actually remember the last time I went to a live gig. I really can't. It's quite a number of years now. And it affected me quite strongly. A big surprise that Jeff Wayne was actually on stage conducting it, which was a real treat. But there was an amazing live band, amazing live orchestra, fantastic actors, singers. The whole stage production was amazing. I mean, it's a brilliant piece of work anyway. But that moment that the first few chords played, and you could feel it in your chest, you could feel the vibe of the music. And it was like that throughout the whole show for me. We took a teenage son who was slightly unimpressed with the idea of going. It was too loud, yeah. But we had a chat with him afterwards, and I wanted to make it important to him that it's a live music show. And I think with today's electronic world, we really, really don't want to lose that. There's something really, really special about going to a live production. The feel of it, the music, the vibes that touch your soul, the whole atmosphere of it all.
Musicians.
The talent that was on that stage, the musicians, the orchestra, the band, the talent was just phenomenal. But I think as well, particularly with the War of the Worlds, the story was very poignant, very, very poignant. But they also had an actor playing H.G. Wells as well. And the final words that he gives at the end of the show were very, very relevant to today about war and about people and about humanity. But we pointed out to our son that it's about history as well. This piece of work is decades old, but it stood the test of time and is still well known and well received now. But also H.G. Wells, I mean, he was one of the very first sci-fi writers, with War of the Worlds, with The Time Machine, with The Invisible Man, all classic pieces of literature that really sparked, and as we pointed out to our teenage son, sparked sci-fi. And without sci-fi, you wouldn't have Star Wars, and he loves Star Wars. We've tried to bring him over to Star Trek, but he's not having any of it. So for me, I actually got quite emotional at the end because it had really hit me about connections again. It was the music. The music had really got to my soul, and the importance of it, and the importance of the history of it. The whole thing that it's important we don't lose this. We don't lose the history. We don't lose this music. The only other time I felt like that was when we went to see the Spitfires at Chichester. And it was a reminder that we need to remember the sacrifices that people made during the war so that we can live how we live now. And I felt that same emotion then. So it might sound like a bit of a diversion from my spirituality, but it's not, because it's all about connection. So with the combination of Dan the Bard talking about his loss of connection on Saturday, and then connecting with the music, the history, the whole importance of the War of the Worlds on Sunday, it's really kind of pulled me out of the void a bit, I guess, to bring myself back. But there are some important things, and I have taken these from the Curative Magic book. So I think most importantly, remember that you are never alone, particularly in this online world. There's always someone somewhere that will listen. And that goes out to all of you, that myself and the Kitchen Witch gang are all here. Never, ever feel that you are alone in your spiritual world, or any world, really. Remember that you might only be one person in this world, but you are important. You are amazing, no matter what you think on a bad day. Bearing in mind this morning that I now have a dressing table in the window in the bedroom that has light. I haven't seen my face in that much light without makeup for several months. It was scary. No matter what you think on a bad day, remember you're just experiencing that. It is just a bad day. Underneath it all, you are amazing. There is nothing that cannot be sorted, dealt with, or handled in some way. Don't give up. It's okay to have a day off and start again the next day, or even the next week, or even the next month. Be kind to yourself and be gentle. Learn to trust your intuition. And I push that one all the time. And also remember that you're not broken. You don't need to be fixed. You might benefit from a little bit of TLC and maybe some fine tuning, but you're not broken. And just because you're struggling with something, it doesn't mean that you've failed. Now, those are all things that I wrote at the beginning of the Curative Magic book. And I had forgotten those. And I think it's very, very easy to do. And it's very easy to be washed with all this stuff and forget all of those things. But they are all very important. Let's go back to some of your comments. Tony, lost my mother just before lockdown. My condolences to you. Yes, we lost my mother-in-law as well. Not fun at any time. Barbara, I have to say these Friday chats have been so much help to keep me in touch with like-minded folk. Thank you all. My thanks to all of you guys too. I actually started these at the very beginning of the first lockdown. So I've been doing them for 2 years now. They have been my lifeline, and having you guys on board has been amazing, and I cannot thank you enough for that. Margaret, had to find different ways. Yes, different ways to practice after some health issues too. Found that my connection got stronger overall, even when there are some ugly disconnects in the way. I think sometimes it is, and I think that's where I am. It is about finding different ways of connecting, different ways of working with your practice. Let's just, Kay says, don't doubt your inner self. Sometimes healing's just holding the space until things change. The magic is always there. It is. And Jenny to Sue, never alone, my love. No, you never are. We never know how people are practicing. Everyone works at their own pace. Everyone works in their own way. It has to be your way of working. Willow Moon, feel disconnected sometimes, especially with ill health. Yeah, but it's my spirituality which reminds me there is joy and beauty in the world, and the magic is when you enjoy it. Absolutely. Hi, Nikki. Yes, air clocks went forward last weekend. Sorry about that. Jane, been having back-to-back IBS flares for months now, which eats away at my witchy practice. Yeah, it will do. It will when you're not feeling right. Get around it by knitting blanket squares for a local project, but would so like to be getting on with my kitchen witch homework. We're here when you're ready, Jane. You know, it will happen when you're ready. Helen, like others, I've never spent so much time on my own, and my practice has changed a lot. Relied a lot on Facebook and YouTube. Don't know how to get back to life. I think that's, isn't it? We've spent so long being online that it's actually really weird being out there. But I think it's about getting the balance of both. Karen, nature really helped me. I walked every day with the dogs, but just going to place I love for a few hours walking and sitting really helped me reconnect, which is exactly what Dan the Bard was talking about. That is a really good way to reconnect. Raven Gast, been looking for all your books but can only find 4 on audio because I can't read because of my site. Very frustrating. There are only 4 on audio because I have to personally pay to have them recorded, Raven Gast. So there will be more eventually, but at the moment there are only 4. Emma, if I had to think about it, I lost connection about 15 years ago when we lost my uncle. I've only done bits and pieces since then due to health and loss. Keep trying and keep going. That's the important part, Emma. Keep trying and keep going. Our practices change. I think they change with age. They change with time. They change with our situation. There are no wrongs or rights. It's not even going to mention it. Everyone is different. Everyone will work in a different way. Sue wishes you'd been there. Maria, we missed you, Maria. The Wild Witchcraft Conference will be on again next year. Jane, nature's passed me by for the last few months because IBS makes walking a chore. Didn't even wash out the poor old apple tree. he'll forgive you. He will forgive you. Tony, I remember War of the Worlds when the double album first came out. It was a long time ago. Okay, my IBS makes me feel I need to be. Yeah, I'm with you there. That's what the colitis does. Feel so weak and have even passed out on the loo. Yeah. My ulcerative colitis is very debilitating, but your health will have an effect on how you work with things. It will. It will work. It will affect everything. Kerry. Felt the same. In the first lockdown, it was taking my dog for a walk in the countryside, which I'm lucky to live in. That helped me to reconnect my pagan path and what's important. It is, I think nature is one of the main healers and the main ways of reconnecting. Lives in London, so even though it's lovely to go to the parks, it doesn't feel real. That's strange. Yeah, I hadn't thought. I mean, I live in a city and we've got a park near us, but I think, Maria, it is about making that connection with the energy that's there. London has an enormous history behind it, layers and layers and layers of history, the Romans and before. I think you might benefit from doing some research into the history of London. You might find a bit more of a connection there. Yeah, it's all about health again. There's lots of people are really struggling with the health. You can go off the topic. Love your Green Man plaque. This one is not actually the Green Man. It is, I believe it to be the god Balanos. It is a copy of the top of the temple from Sulis in Bath. Sulis's temple in Bath. They thought it was a Gorgon's head first. They thought all the hair bits were snakes, but they're not. It is actually hair. So the belief is now that it is the god Balanos. So it is a replica of the one from Bath, from Sulis's temple. Just reading. Where's the 2 years gone? Yeah, I know. Jenny, isn't it funny how somewhere along the line we've already written the answers? Yes. Find when I have written a talk, I can be halfway through it before I realise I'm writing the advice I need to give myself, not just others. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, we have it. We have it all there. Christine, this is making me feel kind of emotional, knowing that we're all going through the same times. And I think that is what is important. And the first thing that I wrote, remember you are never alone, particularly in this online world. Karen, love Friday mornings. Think they've kept so many sane during the... Yeah, me. Absolutely. I would have been lost without you guys.
I can hear you.
Words are so right. Thank you for being there. Makes me so... Yeah, you've got to carry on. We are all in this together. Jackie, maybe I'm lucky. Lockdown made no difference to me as being carer. Yes, the roads were great for getting them out. Well, actually, both my husband and I worked the whole way through lockdown because he was able to work from home and I already worked from home. We worked all the way through. And in fact, our daughter did as well. Our daughter got a job as an apprentice teaching assistant right at the beginning of lockdown. Only a couple of months into it, she ended up running classes for key worker children. So she was in school the whole time, as was her fiance, because he worked in the office. So yeah, we've all been working, really. So the roads were very quiet. Penny. Yes, the story of the War of Worlds is, again, it's very poignant. Mother Earth is resilient. Nature will always heal in the end. Good morning, Teresa. Silver linings, Christine. Yes, there always are. Nikki, realise how blessed I am being a solitary soul even before COVID, and pandemic has given me an excuse to be a hermit. Yeah, I think it's done that to a lot of people. Biggest blessing was being home on our land when I reconnected and finally realised that which I am. Fantastic. The Wild Witchcraft Conference is held in Horndean in Hampshire. It will be on again. Getting through these. Local lake is lost behind hoardings at the moment because a new housing estate is being built right near it. Peeked through a gap to see a lot of churned up mud where the shrubby bank used to be. Do hope it's going to be replanted. We don't hear the ducks and geese flying past now. I think, new houses have to be built to put the people in, but I think you'll find that nature will find its way back. It is very resilient, and it will be. Kerry, does the menopause affect connection? Yep, it affects damn everything. I am coming off the back of 6 years of perimenopause as well, and it has been a killer. Yeah, it really has been. One of the hardest things that myself and my husband have had to deal with is the perimenopause, particularly the hormone side of it. Not pleasant. Kew Gardens is lovely. Do like Kew Gardens. Kay, found my procrastination to-do list got done during the lockdown. yes, getting things off your to-do list really does help. Sue, when I want to watch a bit of Pagan, I watch Avatar. Fantastic film, very, very, very fantastic film. Jane, it's lovely to think we've always got each other and reminded this every Friday morning. Yes, please always remember that you are never alone. We might only be on the end of a computer rather than face to face, but we are here. Carol, loved the solitude of COVID. Would have been great. Yes, without the scary COVID bit. Yeah, that was not good. Willow Moon, what would you recommend to somebody new to the craft when they feel disconnected and nothing seems to help? I'm going to run out of time to go through the things I actually want to talk about. I have written a blog about being disconnected. It's an older blog. You will find it on my Pathos Pagan blog, and it is about finding your connection. There are very, very simple things you can do. I'll put the link in a bit. Lizzie, haven't been on here for a while because of how I've been feeling since after Christmas Yule. Faith was lost over 13 years ago, and only just recently, in the last year or two, has started to reassert itself. Connections are being made, and Gypsy's helped me with a big connection recently. Fantastic. Sometimes it only takes one person to just mention something or one event, like it did for me at the weekend, that kind of kick-started things into finding your way back. Sue, hubby worked all through. Oh yeah, we're very, very pleased for all the key workers. Nikki, it is incredibly stressful living through a renovation. Yeah, more than I thought it would be. I think you both need to give yourselves a big pat on the back. You've worked, your house has changed, the world has changed, and let's not mention, yeah, we've had it all thrown at us. Perimenopause, renovation, pandemic, working the whole way through it. Yeah, it's been a bit of a roller coaster, that's for sure. Definitely. Maria's on HRT patches now, hoping it helps your joint pain. Fingers crossed. There's a link to my Pathos Pagan blog. Thank you. If you do a search in there for connection, you'll find the blog. Jenny was amazed how the community came together. Zoom rituals, Friday lives. Dave Smith, Dan the Bard, has been doing monthly house concerts, which have been brilliant. And I did thank him on behalf of everyone for that. But yeah, we Kitchen Witch, we moved to online rituals, and actually we've been asked to carry on with them, which we will do. So we will carry on with those because you can reach so many people. And I have been so busy the last 2 years with online talks across the globe, which is fantastic and for which I am incredibly grateful. Kelly, it's hard when you feel alone in your craft. After 20 years of working alone and feeling disconnected, being part of the Kitchen Witch Society really helps to give that connection, to know you're not alone. Bless you. Thank you. It's everyone that makes a part of the community. But I think it is, first of all, let's actually get to some helpful bits, hopefully. I think recognizing, acknowledging, and accepting is the first step. It's about taking control of what's happening to you, recognizing what's happening, acknowledging what's happening, not necessarily rushing in to do something about it right off the bat, but actually recognizing that that's the point that you're at is one of the first steps to take. We're all motivated by different things. We're all sparked by different things. But it is about recognizing and acknowledging that that's the point that you're at. Oh, caramel latte. Oh, nectar of the gods. I think as well, it's also about stopping and realizing what the underlying causes are. Now, for me, obviously, it was a combination. It was the stress of the renovation, which then caused my health issues. It was the tail end of the perimenopause on top of it as well. And the pandemic. I mean, throw more things at you, why not? But it is about recognizing those underlying causes. They will be slightly different for everyone. It might be stress, it might be grief, it might be anxiety, and any of the other members of the band. Situations that trigger us into letting our emotions take over. It might be obvious what the cause is. It might be a death in the family, it might be a miscarriage, it might be a loss of job or too much workload, unbalanced work home life. It could be lots of different things. So I think it is about recognizing what the underlying cause is. It might take a little bit of thought to realize what the underlying cause is, but once you've nailed it or pinpointed it, then you can do some work on it. Let's get these. Just getting to the point now where we can and should be patting ourselves on the back for surviving. Yeah. And absolutely, to those that were lost, absolutely. Nikki, online is awesome. Look at me on the other side of the world. Yes. And I think that for me and for Kitchen Witch particularly, we have connected with so many people. It's been fantastic. Hello, doggy. Has the sun gone in? On the subject of getting into nature, one of the best ways is to grow some seeds. I have planted seeds in a greenhouse. Yep. Been slowly getting the garden ready. I think that had an effect as well. The garden was my sanctuary, and while the building work was going on, it was a mud pit. The garden is now getting back to together, and that's made a difference to me as well. It is an important part of my world too, definitely. Emma, I was on the cusp of breaking free of agoraphobia when COVID hit. That's not good timing, is it? Now I feel back to square one. I'm getting out now and again. Quite proud of how far you've come. Emma, we're very proud of you too. You have been doing fantastically well. Tony, I was disconnected for years, did some courses years ago, but there was no other connections apart from it is about finding something that fits as well, I think. We've been working, myself and the Kitchen Witch girls worked all last year on the British Goddesses course, and for me that did work really well. Yeah, the weather hasn't helped at the moment, has it? It's a little bit early for a lot of the garden stuff. Trudy, I've been planting seeds indoors. It does help with the connection to nature. Yeah, feeling the earth. Yes, definitely. Okay, I'm lucky because I have a lovely 130-foot garden, and through my back gardens gate, a huge field. I'm so aware for people who have small gardens or no gardens. We had a small garden, and it kept us going through the pandemic. Absolutely. I don't think it matters whether you have a small garden or a window box or acres. It is that connection to nature. And
did you just say size doesn't count?
I did say size doesn't count.
Just checking.
Yes. Sorry, Pete's not awake this morning, can you tell? Yeah, I don't think it does. I think it is, most places, I'm on the edge of a city, we only have a small garden, and it is my sanctuary. But even that, we've got most cities have parks that you can get to as well. It is about finding what works for you, really. Lizzie, another point of online activity is such a boon to those of us who live alone. Suddenly we're able to engage with other like-minded people. Thank you and everyone else here for those connections. Oh, you are more than welcome, Lizzie. It works for all of us. It's brilliant for us too to connect with you guys. It has been for me, it's been one of the most enormous pluses of this whole mad, bizarre situation we've been in. It's the connections that I've made with people. with all of you guys on a regular basis. It's important. It is important. And I think as well, to help, before you even kind of look at the magical side of stuff, is to cover the mundane options to help you out. Like nice caramel lattes. It is my pick-me-up. There's one particular place, Roberto's in North End. They do the most amazing caramel latte, and it is my happy drink. So it is about the mundane stuff as well. I think just silly things like planning ahead. I mean, I'm stupid busy the whole time. I have to plan everything. And I think being organized for me is a bit of a key too. If I'm unorganized, if I don't have things written down, if I don't have things scheduled out, that throws me into a spin as well. So from a practical point of view, being organized, just writing stuff down is quite important for me. And I think it's also important to make time for yourself in that schedule. When I schedule what I'm going to do for the week, there has to be time to yourself as well. Whatever makes you happy. It might be a caramel latte. It might. My mum always says every household should have a Pete. But there's only one of you, and you're quite busy.
Yeah.
But it might be anything. I taught myself to crochet over lockdown, which was, I found it fascinating, and I absolutely love it, and it's something that I will keep going with. And I think as well, actually, we found that my husband works full time. I work pretty much full time. I have all the witchy stuff. He's in a band as well. We did get to a point where we were passing each other because we were both so busy. So we did get to a point where we actually sat down and said, right, this is silly. We have to make time for each other. So we do actually book weekends out where there's no gigs, there's no witchy stuff going on. We actually have date days. We've been together 30 years, but we still go on date days because it's important to make time for stuff that makes you happy. And I think that is important as well. Kate says, there is a fun and camaraderie of these lives. Yeah. Don't expect a lot of sense from them. Oh yeah, I have lots of lists. I have a 1980s file of facts, you know. Jenny, new learning project can help, and maybe sharing it. I have friends who have started vlogs, blogs, and podcasts. I can recommend the Wheel podcast. Do look that one up. Honestly thought when we started our little podcast, it would be an audience of 6 people, including my mum. No, your podcasts are fantastic, Jenny. So I highly recommend, do look up the Wheel podcasts. Yeah, I went to that, Pete. Absolutely. Yarn crafts are witchcraft. You wave magic stick and poof a jumper. I haven't progressed to a jumper yet, but I've made scarves and doilies. Jenny, date days is what? Yes. Do you know, some people, we have actually had people say to us, you're so lucky that your relationship's so good. Actually, yes, we are lucky, obviously, but it takes work. Every relationship takes work. If you don't work at it, then it is just gonna. You've got to put effort into anything. Ravengast, if you love crochet, you'll love tatting. My mum's friend used to do tatting. It looks very complicated. I'll have to work on the crochet first. Lizzie has been leading online workshops for age. I cut, that's Kumru, isn't it? About how to do peg looming, lucid braiding. I have bought a little loom. I am going to try that as well. It's so nice to have that structure in my life. Making new friends, sharing skills. Yes, absolutely. Jenny, can you pop your link to the podcast in the comments, please? That would be incredibly useful. Date days are important to us. Definitely. Leslie, don't know what I would have done without you guys. You've all been such a blessing. Never feel totally alone, and the rituals have been fantastic. Would never have got to take part in a ritual if it wasn't for you. Oh, you're very welcome, Leslie. Again, you know, the rituals have actually been written by the gang. Heather, Sue, and Ness have been writing the rituals and leading the rituals. I just rock up there and say my bit. I wouldn't be able to do what I've done without those girls. They're all superstars. But again, the rituals would be pointless for us if you guys didn't turn up. So it is all part of the community, absolutely part of the community. Christine, my theory helped me get through all these chaos times is thinking about how our ancestors coped with the times of raids. Oh yeah, the horrendous times they suffered. Oh yeah, I mean even if you go back to things like the Second World War, which are still our ancestors, but still in modern times, you know, air raids and rationing and all of that malarkey. Well, yeah, we've had it. It's different world to even think about it. Definitely. Jane, you need 2 magic sticks. No, you can make jumpers with crochet. I can't knit to save my life. This is what a Stitch Witch does, yeah. Loom beading. Oh, I'll have a look at that one, thank you. Apparently I'm being projected my photo, but nothing. No, oh, it's probably better without the photo. Charlie, nature is wonderful. Yes, hay fever has changed the amount of time we're spending it and really. Yes, we have the last week been feeling hay fever. Jane, joining the local knit and natter group has done good for me. A geriatric version of a toddler club. Lizzie, only just discovered Heather's moon videos yesterday. Yes, if you look on the Kitchen Witch YouTube channel, Heather has recorded ritual videos for each of the moon phases. There's the link to Jenny's podcast. So do have a look at that one. Karen started embroidery. So there's magic in creating things like that. There definitely is. Penny, I adore the online rituals so much. They do really help the connection to my fellow brothers and sisters. Oh, you're very welcome. Again, without you guys turning up, it wouldn't be the same. Maria, I just learnt mine from YouTube. It is quite straightforward. Trudy, definitely been important for me. Love Friday morning chat. So happy I've been a part of it. Long may it continue. I'm happy to keep going all the time. People keep turning up. Finding out about our local history has been amazing. Yes, I think that's an interesting thing to do as well. I think it's an important thing to do. 2 days to find a Roman marching camp, and I've lived here for 51 years. That's my reconnection to our ancestors. Yeah, definitely. I think it's really interesting and important to do. It can really help you feel connected to your home and to land. Sorry, got to drink the coffee while it's still warm. Used conventional and net or herbal. Sometimes I just have to stay indoors and shut the window. Has anyone found a spell? Oh, I'm on the conventional stuff, but I did go to the doctor because it was so bad, and he prescribed more of it. Nikki, I remember my nana talking about the Spanish flu. They'd gone to pray to see the soldiers arrive. Yeah, the Spanish flu was a horrendous experience. Not that I remember it. Just scrolling down. Oh, Janet listens to the wheel. It is a very good podcast. Definitely. I think as well, sort of people are, thank you. People are saying about the Friday chats. I find so much wisdom. Oh, I don't know about that. Definitely giggles. You're very welcome. Willow Moon, if you stopped doing the Friday morning chat, I'd have to come up to your house and shout through your letterbox. Well, good job. I don't know where you live. Please don't get a restraining order. I'll watch out for that. But actually, that's a key as well. We are going to go way over the hour today, and I don't care. It's good to talk. Getting support through talking. If you're in a relationship, please do talk to your partner. I know sometimes it isn't easy for some people. Again, key for 30 years, communication. Even if you think that what you're going to say is ridiculously stupid, Pete's got very used to hearing me say, this is going to sound really silly, but I need to say it. Communication is the key. if you can't talk to your partner, then a parent, a sibling, a teacher, a mentor, a friend. And again, with the online world, there is always someone that will listen. Never feel completely alone. Reach out. The world has provided all of these support networks for us. Use them. Just reach out, because talking about stuff is really important. And we touched on your health. A lot of us have struggled with our health. It does affect your mood. It does affect your emotions. It can be a cycle that you get pulled into, and it may feel never ending, but any cycle can be broken. First step is self-care. Actually, the first step is seeking out professional medical advice. That is really, really important, particularly if it is an ongoing thing. But as well with the menopause, I struggled at first finding someone to listen, but I kept going. And in the end, I specifically asked for a female doctor who had been through the menopause and who knew about it. She was the one that really, really helped me. So there's always something that can be done. It might be a bit of trial and error to find something that works. And I mean, if you've got something incurable, like mycolitis, it is a disease. It's not incurable. They can give you stuff to help, but all that stuff has side effects. It's about working out a routine, a way of maintaining it, a way of working with it rather than fighting against it. And I know it's not always easy, but health can really affect your spiritual and your emotional well-being. And I think as well, the whole renovation thing has put it into perspective for me. In the Curative Magic book, I wrote about cleaning house, and I know it's seriously boring thinking about housework and even more tedious to do it. But if the house is untidy and cluttered, I can't focus. And I think that's had a big effect on me with the house being upside down. I also find that energy gets stuck in the house when it's full of chaos. If you like it like that, and it flows for you, then that's absolutely fine. I'm not judging. Really, I'm not. But for me, if it is chaotic and cluttered, it does my head in. So I think, again, your setting is important. If you feel comfortable where you are, whether it's cluttered or clear, that's a key as well. Definitely. I am just going to get some of these. Rebonded with my sister after her ex-husband kept her away from everyone for decades. Don't know what I'd do without our chat now. I don't know what I'd do without seeing your picture of socks every Friday morning, Jane. Absolutely. The Kitchen Witch Posse are fantastic. Kerry, loved the Friday chats. Been great to hear so many different ideas. And again, I mean, it started off with me just talking at the camera. It's evolved with you guys, and I love the interaction from you guys, the suggestions and the comments, and just the support from everyone has been amazing. Barbara, I find it difficult to communicate with. Yes, I did find that on Saturday at the conference. It was very strange talking to people face to face. Definitely. Helen, very grateful I got through it all. Very lucky as I have health issues and got the virus on my 70th birthday. Oh, what a birthday present. Lizzie has recently found someone to come along and clean the kitchen, the bathroom fortnightly. Result. Yes. It does make a difference. It always makes a difference. And we've covered nature. Nature heals. But don't forget that there are other things that can help. I found it with the War of Worlds music. It was the music that helps. And if I am low, I put on some 80s stuff. You know, Jimmy Somerville, Yaz, they bring me up. But I think as well, if I want to feel particularly more witchy, I play Kellyanna quite a lot when I'm crafting, when I'm doing spell work. Spring and Mist will give you pagan music. Dan the Bard, fantastic pagan music. play what works for you. If you want to do a ritual with Metallica, then do it, because it's got to be personal to you, but it's got to be something that helps you connect with that spirituality, with that magic, with whatever it is you're trying to do. Drumming we did the other week, that's very good for raising the energy as well. And don't forget your other senses. That's hearing, seeing, but also smell as well. Sense can evoke all kinds of memories, thoughts and feeling. They can pick you up, they can connect you to spirituality. Frankincense for me that's magical. That makes me feel witchy, just the scent of that. So that can work as well to bring you back. And I think as well, it's also about setting boundaries. You do have to have time for yourself. And it took me years to realize this and to take it on board. Set boundaries. It is absolutely fine to say no. You don't have to say yes to everything that you're asked to do. You will end up exhausted, stressed, and everything. Make sure you do put time aside for yourself. Sue, do you remember you did some spells? And always a card reading. Yeah, I don't rule it out. I might be doing some of those again, Sue. And I haven't forgot, Sue's asked me to do some crystal grids. Now that I'm back in the setup in the office, we'll be doing those too. Lizzie, which of your books covers working without standard tools? That is Witchcraft into the Wilds, which I've got here. Now that everything's not packed, it's that one. And that is me on the front. Witchcraft into the Wilds. That is working magic with none of the tools, all with nature's items.
You on the front cover too?
I am on the front, yeah. Remember you saying previously they use music and films to create the mood? Yes, absolutely. And I've talked about music in magic as well. There is a YouTube video on that. Yeah, I see Maria knew what I was talking about. Hex spell with Sad But True by Metallica. Perfect. Christine, my mission now is to find a clothes shop that sells pagan clothes. It's hard when you live rural and no shops that have the clothes that I love. I've just discovered Kit and Caboodle. It's not pagan clothing, but it's all the Lagenlook stuff, which I love. Kate and Flavia, they sell online. Arnemetia, the Arnemetia shop, they sell pagan clothes online. Nikki, just love going outside on a fine night and looking at the stars. Lucky in the country we don't have light pollution. Very grounding, amazing. And the hours. It is about loving your location as well, isn't it? It is absolutely about loving your location. Sue is doing a wood burning session. Sue, hope to make my own crystal board. Perfect. I think as well, just to kind of round it up because we've gone way over time. It's about doing stuff that works for you. We've talked crochet, we've talked knitting, reading. I read all different sorts. I love to read. I read different authors. Now that the house is almost back, I am actually going to set aside time in the afternoons to read. I've got a stack of witchcraft books to read still. I've got a stack of fiction books to read, although let's be honest, I'm going to end up rereading all the Terry Pratchett ones because that's what I do. But it doesn't matter as long as it makes you happy. But give thanks. Sometimes it can be incredibly difficult to see the positive. And in actual fact, that's what Pete and I started doing towards the end of the renovation, when we were struggling with the timeline and things not going quite right and things being delayed. We tried to find at least one thing every day to be thankful for. It might just be that I had a caramel latte. It might just be that one of his bands released a new coloured vinyl. But it was about finding one thing each day to be thankful for.
Or a new ritual scent.
He's addicted to rituals. If you found the rituals, body lotions and shower gels and things, he's addicted to them. See, they make him happy. It is about finding something just each day, even if it's the first daffodil or the first flower in the garden, tiny things to be thankful for. And if all else fails, have a good cry. because releasing that can really help.
Good for you.
It is good for you. Oh, there, Jackie says, yes, Wicked Dragon clothing. They're very good as well. And I mean, I've gone way over time, and I could probably keep talking for another hour about this subject. I just want to thank you all for your support in the last 2 years. I have every intention of continuing on my Friday mornings. All the time people turn up, so will I. We will be carrying on with the Kitchen Witch online rituals. We have the next one is, see, I'm so organised, I've got the diary out here already. The next one is someone. It's April, I think it's the 30th of April. Yes, 30th of April is our Beltane online ritual over in the Kitchen Witch group. There are several events, online events going on as well. Have a look at my website and the events page and you'll keep up to date with it. We also have a competition running. If you hop on over to the Kitchen Witch website, kitchenwitchhearth.net, and have a look at the newsletter page. If you sign up for a newsletter, brand new newsletter, we'll be sending it out at the beginning of each month with exclusive content just for newsletter subscribers. If you sign up between now and the 1st of May, you'll be entered into a competition to win a stack of books. I think there's 5 books, something like that. And a set of oracle cards. So hop on over to the Kitchen Witch website. The link is in the comments. We've got a competition running for that and a new newsletter that's going to be coming out. And have a look on the Kitchen Witch YouTube for the moon rituals as well. Have a look on my YouTube channel for all the previous talks. If you want me to talk about anything in particular, just message me. I'm happy to cover it as long as I know what it's about. And never, ever be alone. Message me, message the Kitchen Witch posse. Doesn't matter where you are in the world. We're here. We're here for you. Carol, what clothes shop did you mention? Busy wrestling myself in New jeans. Carol, your love, kit and caboodle. Fantastic clothing. That's where this one came from. So, Sue, first newsletter. First newsletter will be out on the 1st of May. And it will have exclusive content from myself and the Kitchen Witch posse. So thank you, everyone. You have been an absolute lifeline. I'll keep you up to date on my unpacking and what I find in my witchy boxes. But I'm taking steps, and I just want you all to know that even after 30 years of being on this pathway, we still disconnect sometimes. The gods will forgive us. They're still there. My faith is still there. It just needs a bit of resparking. So you're never alone. Thank you, guys, for being there. And have a fantastic weekend.